Hi, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to Raven's Escape Crafts. All right, new day, new Christmas hat. Like I said, I'm getting ready for Christmas in July. I will let you guys, these are not going to be up on my Etsy yet. They will be up. I'll probably do a drop either right before July. I'll let you know. I have to look at my calendar. I'm making a whole bunch of Christmas stuff that we're going to drop first week of July, by the first week of July. For Christmas in July. So I guess I should maybe put them up a little sooner than later. I don't know. I have to get everything taken pictures of. But this is a little, I thought, well, for summer, why not do, sorry, you guys can't really see it. Hold on, let me see if I can move you guys a little bit. Oh, there you go. This is my summer Christmas sun hat. If you could hear my son in the background, they said yesterday they're off of school now, so he's been fiddling around. He's working on painting some miniatures here, watching me make my video. So, how's everybody doing this great Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. I lost track of time for a second there. How's everybody doing this great Thursday? Oh, welcome, and welcome back. If you're not new here, welcome. If you are new here, I hope you're all having a great Thursday. So, what's everybody doing today? I am going to work on another hat I have in mind, and then I'm still working on my ice witch thing. I don't want to show it to you guys yet. It's not quite done. I have a few more things I need to do with the outfit. It's going to be like a whole outfit thing. So I have that in the works, and I'm trying to think what else. But I do want to start another hat today, another Christmas hat today, getting some of those made. I did. I want to show you. Hold on, where is it? The hat I was wearing yesterday. I put a little star on top. Isn't that cute? Want to see it? All right, here we go. Of course, once I put it up, you won't be able to see it. So, let me see if I can get in the picture. Oh, there we go. There's the hat. So I think I'm going to leave this one plain and it's just the star on top because I think it's silly and goofy enough. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah.
And then maybe make another one because you can still like flip it wherever you want to. I think I might make another one and try to add some like decorations and stuff to it. So that's how I just used some gold pony beads and some brown. It's not quite a star, but it looks like a star. So I thought that was cute. All right, let's get this one back on. And so what else is everybody doing? I am excited for the next episode of the Black Dagger Brotherhood tonight. Well, I mean, it's out now, but I've watched it with my husband, so I have to wait till tonight. And of course, Thursdays, he's got like a million things to do, so I have to wait like till later. That's okay. That's about all I really have planned for today. Working on hats, working on my ice witch ensemble. It's gonna be like a whole like add-on to a dress. So it'll be like all the accessories you need to make a dress into an ice witch. I need to start some. You haven't even seen that. I need to make because I need to get my son. Did you just break something?
Nope. Well. Oh, it'll be okay.
Did you break it? Wait, can you fix it?
Oh, yeah.
I need to get my son to pose for some pictures, Logan. Because I have a dragon's tail hood, and I want to make some more of those. I have a dragon's tail hood that needs to get photographed so I can put it up on my Etsy store. And I have a whole poop ton of belt bags that need to be, just, I need somebody to put them on so I can take pictures of them being worn. Yeah, so. Hint, Logan.
Oh.
Hint. Oh, look, all my people, Logan, all the people that are watching my video are saying that you should help your mom and put on your dad's white cool shirt and take some pictures of my stuff that'll look really cool. Oh, look at all of them out there. I hear them through the video. I hear them all going, go help your mom. Take pictures so she can make money because you're expensive. Now, he's my unofficial co-host this morning. He's not saying a lot. He's not a very good co-host this morning. That's okay. So he doesn't have to be on camera if he doesn't want to. He's not camera ready. He's not looking his best. I'm just kidding. He is. So I don't know. So what else? Let's see. I'm sort of disappointed. I was looking at, I know Herster's has their big warehouse sale going on right now, and I keep seeing things on Facebook of people who are at the Herster's warehouse sale, but yet they don't have anything online. And other years they did like online sales, and they have like their clearance sale, which is, it sucks. It really sucks. I've been through it a couple times, and they have their red, white, and blue sale, which sucks too. And then, so I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping they were going to have some online sale. And I haven't really heard if the warehouse sale is really good or not. I'm hoping to hear from, like, Russ is going there today. So from It's Raining Yarn. I know somebody saw Juan the Yarn Addict there. So I'm hoping somebody's going to give us some info since I can't go. Somebody's going to, like, let us live vicariously through them and let us know how it is. Let's see. I know Premier has some really good sales going on right now. If you look on theirs, they have their sweet rolls are still $9 for 3, which is $3 a sweet roll, which is so tempting. And I know they have a lot of their cottons on sale pretty good right now. If I was not on a yarn buying ban. Mary Maxim has a couple sales going on. Nothing that I was looking for though. So, and I haven't checked. I haven't been on Lion Brand in a hot minute. I have to check out. So usually they have some decent sales. They send me emails, and I usually check when they have a good sale. But I do know, like I said, that Premier does have some really good sales going on this week. So if you're looking for cotton for summer stuff, that's a good place to go. I know they have their hipster cotton on sale. And I know they have the DK? I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But make sure you go, click on the weekly sale. And they did have some pretty good sales on there this week. Like I said, nothing that got me off my yarn buying ban for right now. It's use up some of this yarn because they have yarn everywhere. But I'll keep looking. I'll keep letting you guys know if I see anything or if I get any good discount codes. I'll for sure let you guys know about that. So let's see. What else is everybody doing today? What do you guys want to see? What should we do? I don't know. Hold it. All right. Grab some yarn. I'm going to start another hat. I know what I did want to talk about. I want to talk about selling online. And I'm wondering if any of you have any advice of places to sell. So I've been on this selling journey for a while now, since 2020, 2021, I think it is. And so, 2021 is when I first started selling online. But I started out, and the disappointing part for me is I started out on, of course, Etsy. And because everybody talks about Etsy. And to be honest with you, I see a lot of people complain about Etsy. Etsy has been my consistent selling spot. You know, I see people complain about fees and things, and I know I've talked about this before, but honestly, like, they give you all their fees, they're upfront with you about what they charge. If you're not, you know, pricing your stuff accordingly for their fees, then that's kind of your fault, if you ask me. I don't think, and of course, like I said, I've run my own websites for other business, for other things that, like for work. I ran a website for, what's this? Let me start back. Rewind. I ran a website at a place I worked at. And so I know all the fees that were involved in that, which was a lot. And now I know things have changed a lot since I ran that website. However, there's a lot that's still the same. I mean, you still have to pay for your domain name. You still have to keep that active, you know, and then you still have to have a host, which was pretty much the same then. And then, of course, you need to have some sort of software to build your website. Now, there's a lot more from when I first started doing website. Oh, dear Lord. That was, we're talking back when you actually had to be able to, like, I wasn't even able to do the basic part of the building. We had a guy who knew Java and could write HTML code, and he actually like designed the website, and then I worked for a car dealership, so I would actually have to like change specials, change cars, you know, and then I would update our used car list all the time. And it was not user friendly. I mean, not at all. I mean, I had to know a little bit of code, and I had to be able to read JavaScript. And I wasn't, in no way was I a coder. I mean, I did not code much, but I had to be able to read the HTML and to some extent and put things in and design in what's called Dreamweaver back then. It was not user friendly. It was very difficult to do. Everything, you had to like put everything in. It's not like today. So, but I knew all the costs because I was like very involved in the website itself. So I knew all the costs that were involved in running the website. And they got expensive. And that was with no advertising whatsoever. Now, of course, Etsy, you know, we pay them a lot of fees, but they do a ton of advertising on our part. And they're also a national, you know, known place for people to go search for handmade items. So, to me, the cost of doing business on Etsy is not cost prohibitive. I have somewhat of a customer base at this point. I have regular customers that order things over and over, but not enough to afford me to take on the costs of my own website. I mean, I've been toying with it. There's some free ones, but to be honest, I don't want to, if I'm going to build my own brand website, I want it to be nice and like something that I can use future. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to build a website and then a couple years from now, I'm starting from scratch. You know, I want something that is going to be like, even if I pay less for it now, but that it's expandable into a larger scale website as I, you know, need it. I don't want to use some of these free ones because they are very limited as to what you can do, and you're very limited as to your future ability to use these. And then you're going to have to start from scratch. And where I know that you know, you own, when you have your domain, you own your domain, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't, it's a real, something to look into. You know what I mean? You don't want to limit yourself. And you also, it'd be a lot more beneficial for your business for you to not have to start your website from scratch again when you outgrow the small platform. Like, they look good, these cheap website plans or the free ones, but they're not really expandable compatible. Do you know what I'm saying? So as far as like, I'm on Etsy. They have been consistent with me. I understand their fee system, and I price my stuff accordingly as far as things like that. I also used to have a Facebook shop when they had Facebook shops, and now Facebook, like 2 years ago, completely got rid of Facebook shops. Which drove me nuts because I put so much time and effort into that shop. You know, you had to jump through all these hoops to get approved for it. And then, you know, I got approved. I put all my products up there. And only for like 2 years later, they stopped doing shops. And they're like, oh, sorry, it's done. You know, they were no longer going to support shops. And then I did the same thing. Well, I did TikTok. And of course, I was doing TikTok shops, which are still a thing, which were not handmade friendly. Not at all. Now, I did sell stuff on there. And then all of a sudden, they decided to say that all of my soaps, which was over 100 different kinds of soap, was in violation of their policies, and that to comply, I needed to do XYZ, which were not things that are even possible in the United States. They're more British, UK laws, and you had to have like your certification code. Well, there is no certification code in the United States for soap, so I got banned from TikTok, and now I'm banned completely from TikTok shops. You know, and then they say like, oh, well, you can start a new account, but then I'm like, well, but my information was already on the other account, so they're not going to let me. I'm going to go through all that stuff, and they're not going to let me open a new shop, so no, forget it. And then, of course, I went with Michael's Baker Place was pushing. Michael's has their own, like, Baker Place, which is where all these handmade artisans can sell their handmade stuff. And it was doing it like, I got in when it was very small and it was starting out really slow, but we were starting to get orders. I mean, I was starting to get quite a few orders, and then all of a sudden now that's not a thing anymore. So it's frustrating. That's the frustrating part of selling online. So I'm still, now I'm like, what other avenue is there, to sell your handmade items? I know. I don't know. It's hard. Like, I know. I mean, I could sell stuff on eBay, but eBay is more for reselling, not selling handmade. I've looked into Amazon Handmade, and I'm not particularly interested in that. That's a lot of fees, and the return policy is not good. It's not good at all. Like, they can return whatever. So I'm not doing that one. And so I guess, I'm sort of left with Etsy and my own, website, I guess, coming up with that. I haven't done it yet. I've been looking into it. I know I could do Shopify. I've been considering that too. But that's monthly fees. And again, I have to bring my own traffic. So I'm not, how much am I going to spend on ads? Like I said, I'm working on YouTube. I've been trying to do some TikToks. I'm trying to do my Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying to get people I'm using me to sell my stuff, and I'm hoping I get more people. But it's a tough thing. Everything's so saturated. Facebook's saturated, Instagram's saturated, TikTok's super saturated, YouTube's saturated with crochet people. So trying to get like, hello, I'm here. Like, people are just like, there's so many people to choose from. And what makes you want to follow me, and I follow a lot of different creators, and I try to see, what's making them successful. And again, a lot of these people started out with very few people, and so I'm hoping I can expand and expand and expand like they do, and that's kind of what I'm here for. But I also enjoy talking to people, and I really enjoy making these videos and sharing my creations. Hopefully I inspire people. and hopefully find some potential, I don't know, friends, fellow crocheters, customers. I'm not even sure what, at this point. And so I don't know. That's just why I'm here. So, yeah, I mean, I thought I'd talk a little bit about that today, about selling. It's, it's tough. It's tough, and I see people on Facebook all the time saying, like, well, how do I sell my stuff? And it's like, it's a road. It's not quick. It's not simple. I actually, like I showed my soaps the other day, I do a lot more soaps than anything, to be honest. I do sell a fair amount of crochet stuff. It's not as much as I want, but I do, it's like, it's one of those things where you have to really understand that there's people who have their stuff super underpriced, a lot of places. And so if somebody's selling, like, say, these hats for, some people will say, like, oh, I'm going to sell them for $5. Well, it's like, yeah, I could barely make this for $5. What about my time? What about my, the fees and things like that? So, of course, my hats go for between $25 and $35, the smaller ones, but again, if you get people who are looking for a handmade hat, you will get people who are willing to pay what they're worth. I sold one of my hexagon cardigans, my husband was like, so $200 is a lot of money for a sweater. And I'm like, look, I think I just need the right buyer. And this lady was the colors of her college team, and she found this Hexicardi, and of course it's plus size, which is harder to find for a lot of people. A lot of mine are very bigger size, and she's thrilled to death with it. She's thrilled. She sent me messages and messages about how she wears it to games, and she gets so many compliments. It was the best thing she ever bought. I mean, you just got to get your, but it's not, like, if you're trying to do crochet stuff and you're trying to, like, make a quick lot of money, it's hard because you need to find the buyers, and they're not going to pay on Etsy and stuff like that. Now, you might do better, like, at a craft show, especially if it's in, like, a higher end area where people are, like, you're standing there, you're talking to them, they see you as an artist, and you're not competing against a million other sellers. You'll probably do a lot better. But again, you have to watch what kind of craft shows you go to. Is this the market for your stuff? Is this the market for, and again, that depends a lot on what you sell. One kind of market might do really good with amigurumis and not with wearables. And another market might do terrible with amigurumis and they sell all your wearables. Or, when you're doing, like, holiday Christmas stuff, you need to think about what are people going to buy for gifts. They're not necessarily shopping for themselves. You really have to look at that kind of thing. My husband he's like, I'll go do craft shows for you. And I'm like, you don't know what you're getting into. It's a lot. So, I mean, I know he wants to do it, and I think he could do a good job with it. I just feel bad because it's so much work. It's so much work doing craft shows. I said, I haven't done, for my shop, I've helped other people do craft shows, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of long time, it's preparation, it's setting up, it's being there the whole day and dealing with everything. It's breaking down, it's taking home, it's bringing in, it's, making sure you're set up and your signs and your, everything is done. It's a lot of work. And then sometimes they don't, you take a chance if it's one you've never been to that, is your stuff going to sell? Isn't it going to sell? Is it the right year for this? Isn't it the right year for this? Are people going to be looking for this stuff? It's a hard, to, and I'm not trying to complain. I know this is just the cost of doing business. I'm just sharing this again in hopes that if there's other people out there that are creating things to sell and they're frustrated, I mean, I'm here to tell you, look, like, if, to me, Etsy has been a good source. I have sold plenty of, I sell washcloths consistently on there. as far as crochet goes. I sell washcloths consistently on there. I do scarves. People are looking for different kinds of stuff, you know, and I have put a bunch of scarves, shawls. I've sold a lot of shawls, believe it or not. I mean, I didn't think people really wore a lot of shawls anymore, but I've sold probably more shawls. Well, washcloths the most. I do washcloths, face scrubbies, soap saver bags, those kind of things sell probably the best. And then, of course, like when you get into the actual wearables, I've done good with shawls. Not as much with hats. Witch hats and stuff like that I've done okay with. The quirky hats and stuff. Regular, like winter hats and sets and stuff like that. There's too much competition. Too many people make them. And like I said, too many people will price them a lot lower. So, you know, find your niche, find something different. That's my best advice. Like I said, I have been rebranding myself. You know, I went into this not understanding a lot of this stuff in like, oh, I'm just going to sell all this stuff. I'll make it and I'll sell it. And it's, you know, and I'm learning and learning and learning. And that's kind of what I'm like trying to, if you're new or if you're newer to it or if you're frustrated, you know, I'm trying to make these videos too to like say, I get it. It's a process. It's slow. It does not, it gets, and then of course, you know, the thing we have to remember is you go on social media and you will get into like an Etsy group and you will see somebody saying they're making $100,000 a year. And they're going to show somebody who's making $2,000 a week on their Etsy shop. And you don't know, okay? First of all, you don't know what they're selling because they never tell you what they're selling. You don't know if this is true. I mean, Lord knows it's not hard to Photoshop numbers into, like, take an Etsy thing and Photoshop numbers into it. You know, and 3, are they, like, even, you know, are they resellers of Temu or Shein and stuff like that? Because there's a lot of those on Etsy, too. You know, you don't, I'm sure there are, like, some good, legit people making stuff on Etsy and making $100,000 a year. I don't doubt that. There are some really talented people that are making really cool stuff that I can see that they would make it. However, there's also a lot of people on there like selling things they're not supposed to. You know, are they selling IP infringement stuff? Are they selling Taylor Swift or, you know, any kind of, or Disney stuff? You know, there's another big one people make and sell Disney stuff. You can literally get sued by Disney and they will take everything from you. I am not willing to risk that. I don't do that. I mean, I've gotten hit by 2 IP infringements that I honestly had no idea. One was Winter Candy Apple. You know, I got a scent that was called Winter Candy Apple. I should have known. I didn't put 2 and 2 together that was actually a Bath and Body Works scent. I hadn't thought of, like, the scent I bought from a reputable wholesaler was called Winter Candy Apple. So I called my soap Winter Candy Apple. Didn't even think that's a soap that Bath and Body Works sells. Totally understood. Took it down. Changed the name. It's like now called like Candy Apple or no, Candy Winter or something like that. Winter Apple or something like that. Yeah. You know, changed the name. And then the other one that I honestly God had no clue was I have a scent called Peach Prosecco, which of course to me is kind of wine and like Merlot or Chardonnay or, you know, I didn't know Prosecco was IP. I mean, maybe I'm just ignorant with that. I had no idea that Prosecco was owned. I thought it was just a wine type, like I said, like a Merlot or, you know what I mean? I had no clue. So then I got hit with an IP infringement for my soap that's scented called Peach Prosecco. So, but luckily both of them just allowed me to take the listing down and there was nothing like that. But I mean, I know people that consistently go against Disney. I have heard horror stories about them getting sued and losing everything, including their house, including, not just their business, but more than that. Like, and so you know what I mean? It's just not worth it to me. And it's also, as like I said before, I've written a couple of books. So I do also have, I see people stealing books all the time and copying like what authors have, and people who are like bootleg books and stuff like that. And it's so annoying because you put so much into just like this stuff for people to copy it. And that's your IP, that's your intellectual property. So I do also have issue with like, these people created this thing and now you're making a profit off of it. It's just not morally right. So, and it's like, then people are like, that's not fair, other people do it. Well, just because other people do it. So I try to be very conscious that what I make is not infringing on other people's intellectual property. And, again, I mean, obviously I have Star Wars in the background, but but I'm not advertising Star Wars. So, and I'm not making any money off of this pillow. So these are pillows on our couch because our living room is done in Star Wars. So, all right. Well, I guess that's about all I have to say for today. I kept you on here for 30 minutes rambling again, and I didn't really work on anything, but that's nothing new. So I hope everybody has an absolutely wonderful Thursday. It is sunny again here, so yay. That's awesome. I hope you have a great day whenever you're watching this. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you do something really nice for yourself today. Make yourself smile. And I love you all. Choose love every day. Bye, guys.